Hi friends, welcome back to Writer's Workshop. I am so excited to see you today because we are going to begin a new part of this unit. So your teachers and I got this idea last week when we were going through all of your amazing stories and realized that your books are so full of information. You all are truly experts on so many topics and you have so much to say. So even though you guys are first graders, your teachers and I think you are ready for a grown-up project. You friends are ready to start the project of writing grown-up chapter books. That's right, chapter books. Maybe you've seen some of your siblings or your grown-ups at home reading those chapter books. Well, guess what? You're ready to write them because you have so much information to share about your topics. So, it's not hard to have a topic that you will teach others about. This needs to be a topic that you know really well because we're not just writing a little book about this topic that you choose, we are writing a whole chapter book. So we want it to be a topic that you know a lot about, and that's something that you've already shown your teachers and I. So if you are home, you could ask your family members, what's something that I just am crazy about, I absolutely love? What's something I get really excited to talk about? And if you're at school, you could ask one of your classmates, what's something I'm crazy about, I'm so passionate about it, something that I love and talk about all the time? There are a lot of things that you know a lot about that you could write chapter books on. A lot of you friends might play sports and you talk about that a lot and you know the things that you have to prepare for the game, the attire that you might need, the rules. There are all sorts of things that you friends are experts on that you could write a lot about. Because you'll be writing teaching books that are longer than anything you've ever written, so we know we want it to be something that we know a lot about. For example, you friends know that I love dogs and I love teaching writing. Those are things that I could write a lot about because I know a lot about them. I'm excited, I'm passionate about them. So you're going to think of things that you feel that way about as well. But we know as we're learning how to use a new skill or start a new project, it is always helpful when we look at examples. So, since we're learning how to write long teaching books, we're learning how to write chapter books, it helps us to look at already published books and examples of that type of writing. So today, we're going to look at the book Sharks by Anne Schreiber, and as we look at it, this is a nonfiction and information chapter book, just like the types of books that we're going to write. So we're going to look at it as an example, and we're going to ask ourselves, what did this writer do that I could also do as well? So in Anne Schreiber's book, Sharks, you'll see that it is longer than any of the books that you have been writing so far. So we're going to look and see what did Anne do that we could try to do as we get started with writing our really long chapter books. So when we open up to the beginning, and I've put a little picture up there for you, we'll see that it has a table of contents. And a table of contents, it's like a menu that tells me what each page is going to be about, what each section. So let's just observe and let's look. I see that there's a chapter titled Chomp, Shark Pups, Pups Grow Up, What Big Teeth You Have, Imagine This, Blue Ribbon Sharks, Now You See Them, Now You Don't, Shark Attack, People Attack, and a picture glossary. So I thought I would have needed to read all of these pages to start learning, but I realized even just glancing at the table of contents, there's so much to learn, and I can see that Anne has really organized each part of her topic. It is obvious that the entire topic of the book is sharks, but she's organized the information into chapters, which really helps the readers. Because if I just want to read about the shark's teeth, I can already tell by Anne's table of contents, I just have to go to page 16 to learn and read all about the teeth, because Anne has taken this chapter book, this information book, and she's organized it into sections. She's chunked and organized it. And that's something that you could do with your topic as well. You can think of that one topic that you're an expert on, and you could think of all the different parts and chunks of that topic. Like we said before, maybe if you're writing about a sport, you could have a chapter on what is the uniform or attire for that sport? What are some of the rules? How do you earn points? What are some of the things that you have to do to practice? There are all different chapters and ways that you can organize the chunks of your topic. And so you friends might remember from our anchor chart all of the questions that we asked before. So readers might ask themselves, who, what, where, when, why. So as we're looking at these examples of information books, we can ask ourselves why. Why did the author do something? So for example, I noticed that she has a chapter all about pups. And so I'm thinking that she put the heading, that chapter title, as pups because she wanted this section to be all about the shark babies, which are called pups, and she wanted to teach us a new vocabulary word, that baby sharks are called pups. And it's not the dog puppies, but it's shark pups, shark babies. So she's organizing that information and she's making sure the chapter title, that heading, matches what that section is going to be about. You may also notice that she uses exclamation points, she uses ending marks, she uses question marks to make those titles, those headings, those chapter titles exciting. She divides those sections up and makes the names fun and makes the reader want to learn more. So here are some examples of some other table of contents from other books. And I noticed the same thing. They also are organized into chunks. They have clear short titles, and they also tell the page number of where the information is. So you'll notice that just like Anne did, they organized their topic into chunks. They made titles, and that's something that you can do too. And you might be thinking, well, how do I figure out what the title of my chapter is going to be? Some of you may choose just to do one word for a chapter title, and that's okay. And some of you may choose to do a whole short sentence. That is the choice of the author. And I have some tips to help you with naming chapters because titles of those chapters matter, and people do take time coming up with the names for those things. And sometimes they do try more than one way. So you might be writing out your chapter titles and you might cross it out to try out a new name, and that is okay. We encourage that. So for chapter titles, we want to make it interesting. We want to keep it short. We don't want it to go too long. We want it to tell the reader what it's about, and we want to chop the big topic up into organized sections. So, writers, I want you to think about what you might do to make a table of contents for your book. You're going to think about your topic, and you're going to think about the different sections, the ways that you can chunk the information together. You can think about what ideas you have for how you can divide your whole topic into smaller parts, just like these books did. And so today, friends, you will start by working on a table of contents for your book. So hopefully you came up with your topic earlier. Remember, we said you could ask your family, what's something I get really excited to talk about? What am I crazy about? What do I like to share? You've picked that topic, and now you're going to start by thinking of the table of contents. How are you going to organize the information? And I've added some special paper for you. It is the table of contents, and it's short, but it is important, and it will go at the beginning of your writing. It's a lot like a schedule of topics that readers will be able to read through in the book. And just like the schedule in class, this will tell readers how and when the big things will happen throughout the book. So friends, as you go to write the table of contents today, I want you to focus on organizing the information and thinking of those chapter titles. Now you will see that there is a spot for you to write page numbers. Please don't worry about the page numbers just yet, because you won't know what page numbers it all starts on until you start writing. You might find that one chapter is going to take 2 pages. So for right now, you're just focusing on the chapter titles and their names. All right, writers, it's your turn to get started with our information chapter books that your teachers and I know you're going to do so well on. Writers, go write!